He's got the checklist.
Yeah, he's got a list. He's keeping track, make sure I do stuff.
Yeah.
And he's drinking at a reasonable pace.
I'm your host, Jeff Zart. We're going to take you behind the scenes with the craft distillers who are pouring their heart and soul into crafting the next version of America's spirit. This is the Great American Whiskey Cookers. You've probably heard of Harvard, but are you thinking of Illinois when you hear Harvard? Well, we found a distillery in Harvard, Illinois that squarely has its roots embedded in its location. Rush Creek Distillery. From generational farmers to a Class A trout stream, this distillery in the Midwest knows who they are, what they are about, and they never take themselves too serious. You don't want to miss this. Welcome to this edition of the Great American Whiskey Cookers. I'm Jeff, and I'm sitting here in Harvard, Illinois. Not the Harvard that you normally think of. I'm in Harvard, Illinois, and I'm at Rush Creek Distilling. I'm sitting with the guys, the four partners, and we're going to talk about what is actually going on here. So before I go too much further, like us on the socials, YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, or kick it up, go to Patreon, become a member. We would appreciate it. But I want to hear who you guys all are, and then we're going to dive into just exactly what the hell is going on here. Because I can tell you right now, it's already been a fun morning.
It's 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. So who are you and what do you do?
Mark Stricker. I would say that I'm maybe the CFO here, but I carry a mean mop.
Maybe the C. See where this is going?
No titles.
No titles.
Todd Stricker, wicked good with a mop and super kick-ass in Excel.
Wicked good with them. All right. Brothers.
Brothers,
right?
Brothers, yeah.
Don't like to admit it, but once in a while you have to.
Same mother.
Same. Still fight like brothers?
No, we gave that up a long time ago.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm Jeff McCarthy. I push the broom before the mop, but we all do a little bit of everything here.
All right. And then
Jay Nolan, I watch him mop.
this is going to be probably one of the most interesting discussions I think I'm ever going to try to navigate through, because trying to keep these guys here is going to be kind of fun.
All right, good luck.
All right, so I did some research and did some looking. I've been on your website and I've done some diving. You guys don't come to distilling and making whiskey, and we're in Illinois, as a natural thing. It's not part of your history, correct?
Correct.
Where do you guys come from, and how did you get to whiskey? That's what I want to know.
Well, that's a long, drawn-out answer or question.
We have digital cards, and I've got all sorts of space.
Cool. Well, Todd and I were raised in the bakery business, and so this is liquid bread, essentially. Liquid bread with a shelf life beyond our imagination.
I'm liking that.
Yep, gets put in a bottle, doesn't be sold as day old that night. It's kind of cool.
And so how long were you in the, I mean, you said you were in the bakery business. I mean, did you leave that and come into this?
No, I graduated from college and worked in real estate, development, investments, and I still have some investments, but don't develop as much as I used to.
Okay.
Boredom led me to this.
Boredom
Boredom.
led you to making whiskey.
Yes.
Did you bring and drag Todd with, or did Todd just jump in right from the get?
Oh no, he heard drinking and he said, is there alcohol in that?
And so you were in.
Yeah, so I was a little later to the game than these guys. It was before the distilled spirit plant license was granted. But I worked for a plastic bottle manufacturer and packaging, so I do some packaging stuff around here. And then I left that because it was a small company, it was sold to a big company, and there was some bureaucracy. And you get sick of it, and I'm not very good at that. Growing up in the bakery, and of course you start when you're 12 and you clean the floor and you go get that bag of thing, and you grow up and you drive the bakery truck and you deliver wedding cakes, and I'm the only one who's never smashed a wedding cake. Don't ask Mark about that. And so growing up in that environment, and all of my siblings owned their own business or did their own thing. And I'm the only one who had a real job. You can't bring friends to work, you can't drink during lunch, and you have to work year round. Those are the rules that Brother Eric established. So I was the only one with a real job, and I did that for about 15 years, and then I left that job with really nothing and found out about this. I'm like, who can I get in? And so then they let me in.
So then, Jeff, how did you get into this?
Well, I joined the Air Force in 1983.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. I was at Pope Air Force Base, North Carolina, and I had some local friends that did a little distilling, allegedly. So I hung out with them. I didn't do any distilling. I did a lot of drinking with those gentlemen. Did some deer hunting with them. It was a ball. And then I got out of the Air Force in '89, stayed in the reserves, but I got a job at NIU and got interested in building stills. So I was building some Budweiser keg still, and I would bring some products to parties, give it away to friends, family. It was a ball. One day Mark gives me a call and said he had a business opportunity for me and asked me if I was interested. So I said I'm with Mark and Jay, and we talked about it. So that's how I ended up into this.
See.
You made good whiskey too.
So are you the distiller, or does everyone distill?
Well, mostly Mark and I do most of the distilling.
Okay.
I would say Mark does more than I do nowadays.
But you are the master distiller with your initials on the bottle.
That's fair.
That's right.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then, so Jay, how were you brought into the mix here?
Mark gave me a call one day and I said, why would we want to do that? Oh, it's going to be fun. Well, I've retired 4 times as of now, so
You retired 4 times.
not very good at it, I guess.
Obviously. I mean, you're in a little bit of a learning curve there, right?
You know, one more and that's it. I believe.
So you started Rush Creek when?
It was, I think we were formed our LLC in 2016. It was towards the end of 2016. We bought this building end of 2016 and worked on our licensing. I think we were licensed while we were working on our licensing before that because we had this under option or under contract. So you need a building, you need a still, you need equipment. You know, it could be 5-gallon buckets, but they have to be labeled.
Right. Yep.
That's part of the equipment. So we went through that whole process and started building out the back end, expecting the equipment. The equipment was delayed. So, well, let's start finishing the front end. That wasn't the plan, but it was too long of a time period. Let's move forward. So about the same time we actually started distilling, the front end was open.
Oh.
So it was September 1st of 2017 that we opened to the public, and just basically had enough product made, and it was all clears for the front end. And
So you had no whiskey at that point. It was all clear.
well,
spirit.
we had 2 whiskeys that we brought in that
That you sourced.
we sourced.
Okay.
Correct. And what do we have? Gin, vodka, and 2 whiskeys.
Yep.
Yeah.
How'd that go over?
Actually, there was a balloon fest right across the street, which brought in 100,000 people. It was something crazy.
Holy.
Yeah.
So our soft opening was probably our best weekend in 2 years.
Yeah. And the scramble to get ready to open to the public, not any of us being bar owners, was fun. The pick a corner and start moving stuff so it didn't look bad. And there's still pictures when we had like 4 barrels in the facility, and it was very empty. And there was a scramble that weekend, and we got it open somehow. And actually, running a bar.
Work with new bartenders and
What's it? So that brings up a really good question. What's it like learning how to run a bar? Because a lot of distilleries have a tasting room, just like what you guys have, a bar, and they have a full bar sometimes. So what's that like? What's that learning curve like?
That wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
Well, compared to putting that together back there,
Okay.
the bar was much easier.
All right.
we spent time in bars.
I kind of get the feeling that you have just from some of the conversations we had this morning, that it's not a foreign place to y'all.
So the POS systems, the different elements of it to get everything, so you capture credit cards.
Yeah.
And figuring out how much cash you needed, how much change you needed. It was, after 2 months, you kind of had it figured out.
Sure.
We did have some good help from the very beginning, some experienced bartenders, and they just grabbed the bull by the horns and told us what to do.
And that's helpful.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Why should somebody try Rush Creek Distilling bourbon, whiskey, double oak versus picking up a big bourbon in the yard?
It's going to be different.
We grew up. We don't have to drink Jack Daniels anymore. Let's try something different.
Okay.
Let's explore. Let's know where our grains were grown. They're grown around here. We'll talk to the farmers that produce it for us.
And it all comes locally, right?
Yep. Probably the furthest field is 10 miles away. So very local, off the Bigfoot Prairie, which is some of the most productive ground in the country. It's farmed by, I know 4 generations, so they have to be at least 4 generations. I don't know what their great-great-grandpa did.
Todd, you have a different answer?
No, it's not a different answer, but it's a different answer. Yeah, it's just shiny squirrels in that one. But it's different, and whether it's from Rush Creek, and hopefully you come to Rush Creek and you try Rush Creek and you say, wow, that's amazing, and you have to have that in your life, and you always have 2 bottles behind your bar at home. Or you go to, you guys did a thing on Blowin' Brothers, who does they do a fantastic job. You try these things because they are different, and they're going to be unique, and they're going to be. We live in this world where we jump on this high horse and we say craft, craft, craft. We have to charge a little bit more, and because the Diageo has their lab is probably the size of our entire facility. And it better be just local, and craft might get you behind the bar or on the shelf. But to stay there, it better be a little bit better. It better be a little bit different. And that's what, hopefully we introduce somebody to a craft and they go to another craft place and they find something that they really, really like and start exploring it a little bit more, because as I've gotten into this, prior to this, my whiskey experience at a collegiate level. What time do you guys start drinking? I'll be there in 20 minutes. But you find something that you like, and you keep searching for things that you also like. And I think that's the cool part of, maybe it's not why Rush Creek, but why craft in general. And I think you're going to find something at most craft places, and hopefully here at Rush Creek, that you really enjoy and really like, and really can say, wow, that's different, and let's go look for something else.
That's fair. Jeff,
I agree with
your
that.
answer.
Well, if you come to Rush Creek any day, you will find one of the owners here. You can talk to us. There's a personal aspect here. You come on a Saturday night, a Friday night, one of us are here to talk to you. We greet you. We take you in the back, show you around, even if we're not doing tours. You don't get that in the big whiskey business anymore.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think you get a nice personal touch at a craft distillery. And I believe that we have some of the best beverage you can buy. So that's why I like Rush Creek.
Yeah. Jay, what's your answer?
We take great pride in what we make here. We make it with love, if you want. It is a step above. I truthfully believe it, and many people I get tasting to believe it as well.
Fantastic.
And just to expand on that, I think maybe we've all been in these type of industries, maybe not, where you lose track of certain things, and quality goes down, and myself in a production environment, I've seen that several times. You take care of your people, your process, and your equipment takes care of you, and I think we're actually very good at doing that, and we're fortunate enough to be surrounded by great people that work hard and care and are great ambassadors for our brand, and so that I think is important as to why it's consistent and as good or better than most of the stuff that you find in a big box.
Sure. Tell me how you guys came up with your name, Rush Creek Distilling. Where does it come from?
What did we have? 300 names?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You gotta think about 4 guys sitting around the table drinking,
How long?
coming up with a name.
Oh my God, how long did it take?
Over 2 months.
Yeah,
Oh, easy, yeah.
really, absolutely.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy month.
And I think what eventually happened was our family friend had a 1914 history of Harvard. Okay. And she printed this booklet, which was fascinating. And I said, I'm going to look at that booklet and see what kind of history in Harvard that, grabs me. So one of the things, there's a Rush Creek Conservation District, Rush Creek headwaters in Harvard, just south and east. Yeah, I had to turn it over in my mind and say, oh yeah, right's east and left is left. So, yeah, southeast. So at headwaters, and so I presented Rush Creek, and there wasn't any crazy objections. And my story behind that was, okay, we're all born and raised here.
Okay.
Headwaters of Rush Creek is in Harvard. I think it's kind of cool. That spun off into a whole lot of fun things like What's Your Rush, and rush being an action word. We got a lot of play on it just because of the name.
It's helpful.
It was fun. But it was a long,
Then the brook trout is in
Yeah,
Rush Creek.
yeah. So they're
oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, is it bullshit or is there a story behind it? Is it marketing bullshit? Is that a whole
No.
whiskey marketing?
It's what happened is when we went to the artist who's very popular in Lake Geneva, Neil Aspinall, and you'll see his paintings everywhere around Lake Geneva. His signage for libraries and city halls and other businesses. He's got the kind of old Art Deco kind of nuded colors, and it looks like it's been here for a long time.
Right.
Like this logo's long, and so we went to him and we're talking about it, and the trout needs fresh, clear water to live. We need that to distill. So the symbolism of the trout and distilling were kind of combined in this sense. So that's where we ended up.
Guys, thanks for this discussion. I'm looking forward to the rest of the day.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. And Jamal's. Exactly. Look up Rush Creek and watch for more videos. We have a whole bunch more coming out of Rush Creek. Like us on the socials. Until next time, if you can't be good at it.
Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers.
And from the research I've done, especially on your website and a little bit of talking with your brother Mark.
Oh, is that real?
Yeah, that's real. It's a real thing. Yeah, it's your website's real. You have a little bit of a short attention span. Is that true?
A little bit, yeah. So the blue squirrel. There was one day where I saw a squirrel, but before I could say squirrel, there was a blue car driving by. So blue squirrel. And I can focus. I can really get things done. But there's sometimes when that's not a bad thing, and just having short attention span and
Take care of 10 things on the journey to getting that one thing done that you started out to do.
Sure, that works. I'm good at that game.